citizenship, where I've seen some of the videos where they're not asking, are you a U.S. citizen? They're asking, where are you born?
Yes.
Because they're trying to say, essentially, if you can't prove that you were born at that hospital over there, your citizenship doesn't protect you. I don't know that that's an America that a lot of people want to live in.
I think what you have here are organized activists in large part who are creating this kind of turmoil. You have local leaders who are choosing not to ratchet down any of the rhetoric.
Locally?
Yeah, local.
You think the president's rushing?
I mean, the
No,
statement
I
that
think
we
that
just
when you
heard
I
is
think when you
absolutely
have the governor saying it's an occupation, that is clearly a problem.
Does that look like
When
an
you have-
insurrection to you? What we're
I
watching on
see
television?
activists who
But
showed
does
up
that look
with
like an
chants.
insurrection to you? That's what was just described as in this statement from a
When you've got
high-ranking
people
federal
who are
official.
showing up with the intent
You
to
won't
do
answer the
damage,
question.
I
It looks like an
literally
insurrection.
answer the question here. You don't think they're showing up because they want
They're
to do damage?
peacefully
The people who are
protesting in
threatening.
response to a woman who was shot in the face.
No, actually, what they're doing tonight is
peaceful protesting
protesting
is
because
going to
someone
town
was
square.
arrested and then attacked an ICE agent, and then does that not
They're not
count?
allowed to
That's what
peacefully protest.
we don't really-
You go
we
to
actually
peacefully
said-
protest in the town square. You peacefully protest with a letter to the editor. You
Are they committing violence
protest.
right now?
You peacefully protest by starting a
A letter to
Substack
the
or a
editor?
podcast.
Starting a
Hold on a
you know,
second. Hold on a
no, wait a
second,
minute.
Brad.
You cannot
Because there
interfere
are a
with.
lot. We've been in this country now in the midst of protests of all forms for a long time. We have seen protests in this country that don't stop at a letter to the editor. Okay, you see in the history of this country peaceful, justified protests in which people put their lives and their bodies on the line. They leave their homes, they go and do something that officials tell them is unlawful, sitting at a segregated counter, crossing a bridge. People have been doing that in this country for a long time. That is also
Civil disobedience is honored. It's
Listen,
honored.
civil disobedience is peaceful protest.
I find it
Okay?
ironic that the
It is.
Civil disobedience is honored in this country and always should be. That means you're
I'm
willing
just saying.
But the
I don't
definition
get
of it,
why-
Abby,
why
though,
are
is
we cordoning
hold on.
off,
The
though,
definition of civil
that people
disobedience
can't-
is
I
that
mean, I don't know why they're showing
I'm
up
trying
at this
to
particular
answer your
scene,
question.
but why are they not allowed to show up and just say, I don't agree.
First off, you can't interfere with federal law enforcement activity, and it's a violation of Minnesota state law if your interference with that activity causes someone who's guilty of something or being pursued to get away. Let's go back. Hold on. Civil disobedience is an honored tradition in this country. We want to keep it. That means that you have to be willing to take the legal punishment that comes with that action to demonstrate that the laws are immoral. That's what civil disobedience is.
I find it horrifying that this president has more praise for the people in Iran to protest than the people in the United States to exercise their right to peace.
They have a right to protest. It's not advisable to go interfere with lawful
You see
law
what they're
enforcement
doing right
activity.
now?
It's
They
not
were doing that
advisable.
early
It's
on.
not
Arrest
advisable.
those people.
Yeah.
It's okay to arrest those people, but when you see videos, and I've now seen several of them, of Americans who are not obstructing in any way, they're just simply filming from afar, and you see ICE agents approach them, knock them to the ground, and take their phone, people get angry.
Look, I don't think we have training for people who are in the immigration police to do crowd control. That's why the local police need to be there to be a buffer between
I agree with
protesters who are
You
not
mentioned
trying to
that
disrupt
earlier,
them.
but I think some context. I don't know why they passed that ordinance that you're pointing at. I really don't. But I do want to note that in Chicago, there were local police that did show up to these protests, and they were gassed because federal agents weren't coordinating with them, and they would gas the local police. And so I think that there is this tug of war happening where actually local officials seem to want to protect their people from what's happening on the ground, which sometimes can get very confrontational and dangerous. So,
I mean, this scene could be so much more dramatic than what we're looking at tonight. At the moment, it looks relatively calm. That's probably that's a very good. I'm not sure that they're de-escalating, but at the moment, it looks relatively calm. As I said a moment ago, it's the statement from the federal official that I find particularly strange. That this is somehow an insurrection. People are upset. They're concerned. That there is legitimate reason to be concerned. We've all seen some disturbing footage.
Dialing down the
Even if you
rhetoric
like this
would help on
administration,
all
we've seen
sides.
this.
all right,
And
everybody.
I think that is exactly.
Thank you all very much for rolling with us on that coverage. Our special coverage of this scene continues. Laura Coates Live starts right now.
This is